In the last video, we learned about a few methods that we can use to learn about our strings. Now we'll take a look at a few more helpful methods. So we've seen how to get the different properties of our string by using the index property, or to get things like index of, or use char at to find parts of our string. What if we want to actually get a specific chunk of our string out of a larger string, or get a substring? Well, there's a method we can use called substr, and that's S-U-B-S-T-R. So let's say we wanted to get the world out of our hello world string of whole. We can use the substr method in order to do that. So let's create a variable called world, and we're going to be calling substr on our whole string. So we'll call substr, and this is short for substring, and it takes two parameters. The first one is the start index, and the second is the length of the substring we want to retrieve from our larger string. So if we wanted to get just the world out of our string without the hello space at the beginning and the exclamation point at the end, we need to figure out what the start and length parameters should be. To do this, let's take a look at what the literal whole string would be. Hello world with an exclamation point. So if we want to figure out our start index, we need to remember that the index will start at the number 0. So H would be 0, E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our world string starts at index 6, which is something that we saw in our previous video when searching for the capital W in this very string. So we'll use substring and make the start index 6. Now we want to figure out how long our substring should be. Since we want to capture world, it's going to be 5 characters for W-O-R-L-D. So we'll replace length here with 5. Now we can do a console.log with world to see if we extracted the substring correctly. So we've refreshed and we see our final console.log is world, which means we extracted our string correctly. We can play around with this a little and see what would happen if we brought this down to, for instance, 3 and refreshed. We now see the substring is LO space WO, or we could increase the length to 8 and we get low world. So by modifying the start and length in substring, we can get different parts of the larger string. We'll change this back to 6 and 5 to get out world. Now there's a couple other common methods on a string that you would want to use. For instance, if you wanted to convert a string to be all lowercase, there's a method called toLowerCase. So let's do console.log whole.toLowerCase. And we have to add parenthesis open and close after toLowerCase because toLowerCase is a method. And in order to invoke a method, we need to have parentheses right after the method name. So if we save that out, check it out in our browser, now we're seeing hello world with like lowercase h and a lowercase w. So toLowerCase will take any capitalized letters and change them to their lowercase equivalents. So this doesn't actually change our original string that is stored in whole. So if we did console.log whole and refresh, we can see that the original string still has its capitalized H and W. The toLowerCase method returns a new string that's all lowercase. So if you wanted to use it later, you could call whole.toLowerCase and store its result into a variable for later use. Similarly, we could do console.log, and if we wanted to, for instance, uppercase our string, we could do whole.toUpperCase. Again, with parentheses to execute that method. So we save it, refresh it, we see our lowercase hello world, we see our completely uppercased hello world, and then we see our original string, hello world, is unchanged by either of these methods. Up next, we'll learn about how to compare two strings against each other.